Welcome to That Davis Show. I'm your host, Kenneth Davis. Please follow me at That's Davis on all social media platforms. You see him, you know him. Executive producer of That Davis Show, my partner, Ryan B. Ski, Ryan B. Ski 1, Ryan Bukoveski. Follow him at Ryan B. Ski 1 on Instagram. But that's Ryan Bukoveski right there. We got an episode out talking about the life and times of Ryan and what he's been up to. Make sure you go and check that out. Ryan talks about his weight loss and his training, his dating life, and his acting. So if you want to know more about Ryan, and you should, please check out that episode. This episode that we have coming up, we're going to talk about music. We've both been to a plethora of concerts. And we want to talk to you. We want to talk to each other about it, but we also want you to get your thoughts. So make sure if you subscribe that you put your comments in the comment section. Let us know what concert we should probably go see, what you like, what you didn't like, perhaps about the shows that we went to go see. So, Ryan, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. And I think I'm going to make a little bit of a statement for us. Like, obviously, not everyone has the same taste in music. But I don't know. Our combined concert this year, I don't know if we'll ever be able to beat this year.
It's been a good year. I've enjoyed myself. You know what I wish? I wish I remembered as much. Like I take videos. I don't spend the whole concert recording. I want to be able to really sit there and watch it. But I do take out my camera and I record parts of the concert or whatever. And I never really go back and watch them as much. And I try to live in my brain and think about them, but life is so full, and it's like I have so much information crammed in here and memories that I can't just, in my head sometimes, enjoy the experience and relive the memory through thought. And I wish I could do that better because I've been trying to think about some of these concerts that I've gone to this year. Now, just to give you a list of concerts that I've been to, I believe I'm giving you the total list. Well, let me go back to. I think I should go back to last year. Well, we did last year, but last year, I think I did New Edition, Charlie Wilson, Jodeci. I did Wu-Tang and Nas and Wu-Tang and Busta's a special guest with the New York State of Mind tour, and I did Kendrick Lamar, which that's going to be a big part of this episode. This year, I believe, and I could forget a concert, maybe not. I did Janet Jackson, did Janet. I did with Ryan, myself, Demaz, and Kyle all went to go see Digable Planets at the Taste.
You said like remembering a concert. That concert has been stuck in my head ever since I saw them. I didn't even know that was my first exposure to them.
Oh, okay, but yeah, because back in the days when they were popping, you were. I don't even know.
What's the female of the group's name?
Ladybug.
Oh so, my God, she is so good.
So Ryan, we went to see that at the Taste of Randolph. We'd see them at the Taste of Randolph. So Ryan, Digable Planets debut, maybe not debut, because I think the Rebirth of Slick may have been their second project. That was the one that caught everyone's attention, particularly if you weren't in college or high school. Because this is like when I was in grade school. But they came out with that song that they played at the end, and Ryan, it was like, what the hell is that? And everyone fell in love with it when we were kids. So think about it. If I'm talking about, like, if I'm in grade school, dog, you may not even be. You're 3, right? Like if 2, you're a twinkle. You know what I'm saying? Like, so if they came out, let's just hypothetically say they came out in like '92, where you're dog.
3.
Yeah, you're about 3. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes they may come out like 91. Actually, thinking about it, it may have been earlier than that. So it's a chance you were still breastfeeding, buddy.
I was in my terrible 2s potentially.
Whoa, hold on, let me just see something. 3.
I'm trying to think of all the other acts this year.
Slick. It came out in 1992. No, the album, the Rebirth of Slick, Cool Like That, came out in November of 1992. All right. Okay. So Ryan was in town, and he went with us. He met up with us to go see Digable Planets, which was terrific. Then I went to go see someone. We went to go see someone after myself that I have been wanting to see. I'll get more into it I was talking to a coworker at NBC, Glenn Morgan, and he's slightly older than us. And I told him, I said, a part of me wishes that I was dating like grown folks dating, like even just like 18, 19 when Anita Baker was in her prime. Because I feel like that type of sophisticated love and like it was chic, like where black people were and where R&B was going. It was like you had like I had my older cousins back then. I just know like they were doing stuff and getting it in. So we'll get into that. Patti LaBelle, and then last concert that I've been to. I have one more concert. I mean, we may throw another one in there. Beyonce. We did Beyonce my birthday weekend, and then later on this year, another concert that I've been waiting for, and we'll be back to talk about that. Toni with Raphael Sadiq. All right, so Raphael Sadiq is one of the founding members of Toni. He hasn't been with the group since the 90s. He's been a solo artist, and he is going to come back together with his brother and his cousin and tour. And it is my favorite band ever, period, particularly my lifetime. So we're going to go see Toni at the Chicago Theater, I believe, in October. And sooner or later, we're going to go see Usher because she is going to go without me. But yeah, that is my part of this. Ryan, please give us your part of the concerts that you've been to within the last year and a half or so.
Okay. There's a Blink 182 in there, one of my all-time favorite punk rock bands.
When'd you go see Blink 182? Wait, hold up. Was it all of Blink 182?
I've seen all Blink 182, but it was not all Blink 182 when I saw them within the last year and a half. I saw them all together, though. There was that album Neighborhoods, and they went touring. I saw them at Riot Fest that year in Chicago. I think it was around 2014. So I have seen them all together, but not this last time.
So who was it there? Was it the one chasing the spaceships?
Tom. Yeah, it's always Tom. Mark and Travis are always down. Tom's always got to chase aliens or do something else. He's always got to go do something else. It's so annoying, but whatever. They did come back together for some California. I think it was Rolling Loud or Coachella. One of those.
I need to see Blink 182. It's the real Blink 182. Just one time, the whole group I have to see because that's like one of those punk rock bands from that era that were, them Red Hot Chili Peppers, and I'll never get to see. I've settled, and I won't say settled because this person is near and dear to me. Foo Fighters, because not just because of Nirvana. I love Dave Grohl. And also those dueling guitars remind me of like Thin Lizzy, and I just love like that old school like rock like so. But those are some of the bands that I have to go see. I'm sorry. Please continue. You said that Blink 182
on to a few, I guess, like EDM house music. Keizo is like the big one out of those. I'm not a huge like fan of that music kind of thing, but it was cool, whatever.
What kind of dancing were you doing? Can we see the dance moves you were breaking out the EDM?
No. Hell no.
Why?
No dance moves.
What? What? Isn't that the whole thing? Like, drop a little something and then you get to.
Well, that's the thing. You got to drop a little something and then you see it.
Oh, okay, I got you. Please continue.
What else? So we had this past weekend is the beginning of the major highlights. I saw Karol G. She's kind of the equivalent to Bad Bunny, but a Colombian like reggaeton. Really big.
I know her. Okay.
She's getting kind of big. So she's been in she had a song in the Barbie movie recently, and she did a Corona commercial with Snoop and Andy Samberg.
Oh, yeah.
So she's kind of blown up. I couldn't understand a word she was saying, and it was one of the best concerts I've ever been to. Like, she got me all in my feels. It was amazing. And then we're talking, like you mentioned, King Kendrick, because there's two people I want to see the most, and we're knocking them both out this year. King Kendrick first, and then September 1st in Vegas, because both of those, Karol G and Kendrick, were at Lollapalooza this year. I'm seeing Drake in Las Vegas, and also 21 Savage is there, and I really do like me some 21 Savage. So
21.
Don't get me started. Don't get me started.
21.
But yeah, this is the big concert year for me, seeing the two that I've just been needing to see. And Kendrick, oh my God, he was cripped out to the max, and I was loving every second of that.
Whoa. Time out. He was what?
Cripped out, like all blue, drenched, tapered in it.
But he's affiliated with the Bloods. I'm just going off of the gang activity. I get it. It's, he can go wherever he wants to go, so he can pay homage to his friends that are Crips too. But he's a.
And I didn't know. I think his dad is from Chicago.
Yes,
I forgot about that. And there's a lyric.
He says
there's a song. He says the lyric right in the beginning. I was like, oh damn, I totally forgot about this.
Right. He talks about like having family in East Chicago, and even like if you go Kid, Mad City, his mom talks about, them being from Chicago. We like to step. We from Chicago or whatever. But yeah, that's another reason. I'm outside, of course, the first name being Ken. Gotta love that. But also in the Chicago part, like I say, the old man champ. I've said that the last 7 years when it comes to Kendrick Lamar, that us older rap fans, he's our champion because it fits our lane. But I think I do a disservice in that, because artistically, like at first, like I just watch Kendrick's videos just on to like the one with Dame Lady Miriam. What I believe is that her name? The English lady, Lady Helen Mirren.
Oh, what song is that? I thought you were gonna say Don Cheadle with like DNA. That one always comes up in my mind.
Helen Mirren. So he has not the Don Cheadle one. He has the I love when you got me out. I love when you got me out. So have you seen that video?
I don't know if I have actually. I know the song, but I don't know if I've seen the video.
He's in a parking lot, and this lady's about to pull into a spot, and he cuts her off, and he pulls into the spot. And the lady gets out. She's a white lady, and she's like, "Hey, you stole my spot." He's like, "I didn't steal your spot, lady." So he's speaking to his therapist, and she's like, "Kendrick, you called me early in the morning, whatever was going on." And he tells her about that, and she was like, kind of like, "So, what? How do you feel about that?" He was like, "I feel good because I did steal her damn parking spot." And then the song then shows like a angel or a little kid, like an angel with a kind of red, and it has a mask, like a fan that's a mask, and puts it up in his face, and the screen zooms in on the face, and when it zooms out, Kendrick takes the mask out, and it's him in his all red outfit or whatever. And then the video plays, but the video plays, it's Helen Mirren on one side and it's Kendrick, and the video's in between them. They're still in therapy, and the video play. It's just, you saw from the concert, the shit that the dog. So I'm gonna tell you the concert that Demaz and I went to, along with the other host of other people. This was at the UC. It was, I won't say it was the length of the court. It was like the back of the building, and it was probably past center court, if you want to say that, was the land strip. And it had 3 screens, and it was him and his cousin. I forget his little cousin's name now, who was the rapper. Begins with a K2, whatever. Anyway, and it was basically, he had some dancers, but a lot of it was just him on this stage and the things that are on the screen. And it was so dope. And it wasn't this Drake, and I know you're still going to see Drake having himself sitting next to young Drake and all this other stuff that you have to have, and Kanye floating around the damn thing. You know what I'm saying? You didn't have to have all of that. Not to say that's bad, because Beyonce's concert was that screen was crazy. Like Beyonce's concert, that was crazy, dog. But anyway, and we'll get into that. So the video. So again, the point that I'm trying to make, and I'll let you get back to you, is that Kendrick does so much art, just not rapping. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's part of what makes it. And you hear it in the music. That's why To Pimp a Butterfly was so like, what the fuck am I listening to? Because you could hear the art in it, where it's like, this ain't just some stuff to put on the radio. You know what I'm saying? This is like you're building an album. This is textured in so many ways, and that's why I'm saying I disrespect when I say he's the old head favorite, because he's just one of the best artists of the last generation, and I mean that when the art part. He's one of the best artists of the last generation. I've seen Dr. Dre was talking to Kevin Hart on Kevin Hart's series where he interviews people. I believe maybe called Heart to Heart. Could be wrong. But he says Kendrick is one of those forever artists. And that means he's like, Kendrick go away in 5 years and just drop something and it would just shake us to the core. And that's how Kendrick is, where I'm not going to care. As long as it's hot, I'm not going to care. It doesn't have to stay relevant like some of these artists that have to drop something every year because they are afraid that if they don't jump on the new trend, they're not going to be what's popping or whatever. But please go ahead. You just saying how this is the beginning of.
I want to piggyback off your point, because I'm in full agreement. Like, as a pure artist, I don't think anyone can touch Kendrick.
And not in hip hop, not in hip hop. Now maybe again I'll say this:
some old school ones,
maybe,
sure.
But I'm gonna just diss him in hip hop. Even people that aren't hip hop may not be able to touch him. But I don't want to just. But he's in music in general. He's one of those artists that's a true artist. He's up there. Like again, this is totally different. Like Beyonce, and I'm not this. This is an apple to oranges comparison, but still to where I can sit here and the art isn't just the words. It's the words. It's the sound. It's the context. It's the visuals. It's the merch. All of this is something to where it's just not a lot of people can do. And in hip hop, I'm a hip hop person. I grew up in hip hop, and a lot of hip hop artists, great or not, have never been this type of artist. You're talking about Tribe. You're talking about Outkast. You're talking about those as far as art too, because of course I grew up. I love Biggie and Pac and Wu-Tang, you know what I'm saying, and Twista and all that. But I'm talking about art, just everything in the art. A lot of people haven't gotten to where they perfected that, because they may touch it and do it, and sometimes they knock it out the park, where there's this one album and it's this capsule of art. But this is everything since he's really come to age, putting out his own, not his mixtape stuff, but his albums, where Kendrick has grown. You can see the growth outside of Damn. I know that's some people's favorite. Not dissing Damn, but some people hate it. I don't hate it, but I don't have it up there with some of the other stuff that he's put out or whatever. But yeah, that's just, again, go ahead what you're about to say.
Like I said, how Kendrick and Drake are like my top two, and I can totally be honest with Drake and everything. Like, maybe he had his time where he was a similar artist-ish. Again, I think he's below Kendrick for sure. But, it's a lot of artists that kind of like sell out and kind of just do the thing. And like for Drake, really, it's more of the nostalgia. I grew up with him. Like, he was like every step of my life. So that's why it was like such a big deal. Like,
you don't have to apologize for Drake here, man. We're not one of those Drake hate spots.
I'm not even trying to do that. I'm trying to put it into context. That's all. Like, I'm blanking on that album. What's the like his main album that everybody loves, like the top one? I'm blanking on the damn name.
It's not Thank Me Later.
After
my favorite one was the one with The Weeknd. And it's because the song he has his grandmother at the end. Take Care.
Yes, Take Care. So Take Care was college for me. When I moved to Chicago, that's when Views came out.
Yeah.
When I moved to like Arizona, the next one came out. So it's like every step of the way he was there. But talking about just a total artist, like if you're talking, and like I love hip hop, number one, that's my favorite genre. If you're talking like top level artist that blows your mind with message, flow, beat, everything that you just mentioned, Kendrick to me is second to none. He is just top. So that's why I was like, see Kendrick, oh, I need to see me some King Kendrick.
What was the set like?
It was a great mix. He was Good Kid, Mad City. He had some Pimp a Butterfly. What's the latest one? I always blank on that name.
The Big Step.
Where he had the album cover with the thorn crown.
Yeah, it's It's the Big Steppers one.
Yeah, that one. So it was mainly that album and Good Kid, Mad City with some To Pimp a Butterfly and some of his others. Bro,
Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers.
Yes, that one. I want to give a big shout out to whoever the fuck, I don't know who it was. I was so obsessed with that set, bro, like the whole set. I went on Spotify as soon as the concert was done to listen, and they had it instantly. I would say look up Kendrick Lollapalooza. That set, woo, that was good.
Okay.
Me and Stevie were debating, like, what the hell? Like, because we knew he's going to hit some of the main ones. He's definitely going to hit the newest album. And we were just wondering, like, how he was going to end. And then, like, he did it so cold, too. Like, so, like, basically, I think at Lala, it was almost like 10 o'clock was about the end. I think that's when, like, the city shut it down kind of thing. And he started about 15, 20 minutes later. Like, he was late or whatever. So it fades out or whatever. And because of my, like, broadcasting, like, background, everyone's like, oh, shit, is it done? Is it done? I'm like, I don't know. That cameraman hasn't stepped down yet. He's sitting at the camera.
Right.
Boom. Here comes, like, Die Again. And I was just like, oh, can you see the God in me? Let's go.
Yeah, that's dope. That's dope. So I'll start off with Janet. Listen, Janet, Luda opened for Janet. We got there. Luda just too? Yeah, Luda, and I was kind of like, okay, cool, Luda, but it was actually really good. Shout out to Ludacris. He had the big shoes on. He was really entertaining. And he had the big arms at one point. And it was just him and Lil Fate or whatever. It was just him, and then he had Lil Fate come out with him for part of it. It was pretty. Luda was a good opening act for Janet. Janet was great. Just to see someone who's one of the standard bearers. You know what I'm saying? I sent him to see Beyonce, and you could say Janet, and just for the generations after the 80s, it was Janet and Madonna, a lot of the standard bearers for that type of genre of pop music or whatever.
Where was Janet? Was that Soldier Field too?
No, she was at the out in what's the Hollywood, the Shear Center, what we used to call it back in the day. Yeah, it's it's not one of my favorite. It's not one of my favorite venues. To be honest with you,
it's a nice outdoor venue, but it's not a great venue.
Right, and I mean, I know people that were sitting on the grass. I've never sat on the grass out there because I just don't know how much I can get from that angle because it's so sloped inside that it's like I have problems with people on the lower tier standing where it's just like, damn, you know what I'm saying? But she was great. The sets were great. Her energy was fantastic. She came out and did an encore. It wasn't too much. Like it was just her and like 4 or 5 dancers. For her, 4 or 5 male dancers. She killed. It was. I enjoyed myself. I don't know if I had to go again. I would if someone probably presented me with the tickets. Not to her at all, but it was, you know what I'm saying? But it was great. I've seen Janet Jackson. I was a little kid when Control came out, and every girl on my block was wearing those Guess jeans, those black, slightly faded Guess jeans that everybody had on, and you know what I'm saying. So it was such a part of my life because either my cousins or girls around my block, girls I like, everybody wanted to be Janet. Everybody practiced the steps. You know, so everybody would write down the girls would write down her lyrics and shit. So it was great for that part of nostalgia to finally see Penny or Charmaine. When she was going with Willis on Different Strokes, ooh, that was my favorite Janet right there. When she was going out, oh my goodness, I was a little kid like, she's fine, boy. Willis is a lucky man, because man, listen, dog. Woo! Let me have a Charmaine. I had some in my day. I ain't never want to knock up my girlfriends in high school. Let me get Charmaine. She broke that streak, baby. You can't listen. I'm so she had like that Farrah Fawcett flip. Oh man, she was hard. She had the nice little like flannel pattern with them. Oh my, them denim jeans shirt. She was killing different strokes. All right, like it was hard on different strokes.
She was giving different strokes.
Right, and dude, I was saying I'm like 6. Right? Like, oh man, she was.
What's happening to me?
Man, yes, I don't know what's going on down there, but yeah, Janet, great set, great time. Parking lot situation was terrible, so unorganized, took forever to get out of there. That was the only thing that messed the whole thing up. Was that the parking lot situation was horrendous. Like it should have never taken us that long to get up out of that place. Yeah, so but Janet, terrific concert. We talked about Digable Planets. Real quick, Digable Planets. Like anybody that grew up and you watched them, it's Ladybug. I forget the name. How am I gonna blank out? On Digable Planets.
It's like Friday or something. I'm blanking out on every album cover, everything.
Yeah, so it's Butterfly, Ladybug, Mecha, and Doodlebug. And the thing is, I never knew, for instance, that Butterfly produced their stuff when I was a kid. Like did so much production of their stuff when I was a kid. So when we were out there and we saw him like sitting there on because he came out first and he was playing like the drum machine or whatever and orchestrating everything. I was like, wait, so what he was the amount of somebody, I'm sure there's people out there like, Ken, you didn't know that? I just told y'all I was in grade school. No, I didn't know. All right. We didn't back then. No, it wasn't like that. I didn't start paying attention to more production until I got into high school. So anyway, or if knowing Teddy Riley was making all those songs for everybody. But anyway, but to see that and then see how Doodlebug controlled and ran the set and was the maestro and Ladybug Mecha. I mean, look, I wanted her to do and again, it wouldn't have made as much sense. She has a song. Well, Snoop has a song where they use, she said it on there, you want them, I got them dripping like water. And there's like Snoop and E40 coming like, ooh, the Candy Man. Oh, when I love that song. And she's in that video. That's from probably like 10 years ago or whatever. But like she was one of those first female rappers. Because I think this is before the Fugees. So in a way, in a vein, Lauryn Hill comes from her, from a group of 3, 2 guys and a girl. And in a way, people kind of like the girl more than they like the guys, right? One, because she's attractive, but one
earlier, Ladybug, because she's so dope.
Right, but it's just her flow. It was so like
her flow,
like it was just her voice, and so we went to see Digable Planets. Only bad part was standing on the concrete, and I had on like a classic pair of Jordans that it was not enough cushion. I don't know if it would have been, but that like my feet hurt so much. But the concert, we waited. They came out. They were late. They came out and rocked it. They, of course, and I mentioned it earlier, finished with the Rebirth of Slick because if they had to, and we all enjoyed it. The crowd was in. The vibes were great. I was to go see them in a different venue. I would go see them again. Then Patti LaBelle. I was talking to somebody. I was talking to Sean Sierra because he went to go see Alicia recently, and he said that some of his friends went to see Patti, and they complained that she needs to probably quit because she was hobbled when she was walking around, and but it kind of made it seem like her singing was off. And the thing about Patti LaBelle that stood out to me as a kid, I always knew that Patti LaBelle is one of her names is the songstress, Ryan, because she's just great, and her vocals it's a gift from God, right? And you always knew that, and I knew it was powerful. At this age, I still didn't know it's more powerful than anything I ever thought it was live. It's like, what? No, it's like they thought she's old. Like she's great. I think she's 65 or something, right? So she's not crazy old. I would have thought she was in her 70s, but she is hobbled. She limped up and down that stage like a queen, a queen. She even had them. She got on the cart and had them take her to the back of the house where she sung to Tyler Perry. So early before the concert started, people was like, "Who's that down there?" Because a lot of people ran up on this dude in the white shirt, And I don't know if after somebody was like, it's Tyler Perry, Tyler Perry. We wouldn't know for sure, but when she went to go sing for him, they put it up on the screen. It was Tyler Perry. That he talked and said how great she was. So Tyler Perry was there, right, walking through the UC. Right. She told him he had to be there. He flew there or whatever to go see Patti LaBelle at the UC. It was so great. I would see Patti LaBelle again. If I'm ever at an Essence Fest and she's there, she can definitely count my tickets. I loved it. She has so many hits. She still didn't sing some song. And look, she did this thing too. This is the best part. So she told us, she was kind of like, listen, I must keep singing. And if you all want to go home, then we can go home. And that's how we go. I'm going to just say, y'all want to hear this or whatever. So she'd be like, so y'all ready to go night? And she would do this throughout the concert. And everybody like, no, keep going. And she would drop 2 more, 3 more hits on your ass. And like, there was still songs that I loved growing up. She performed. She got there a little late. She may have went. She had to go at least like 2:30, right? And I want to say damn near 2. She went like 2:30, dog. And look, she still had songs. And we're not talking about like she had dances or nothing, but we're not talking about she took a break. Like she really didn't even take a break, right? And she can't even walk. You say what?
What time did it start?
It was supposed to start at
10,
8.
11?
It started probably like about 8:20, something like that. Yeah, we didn't leave to 10:45. Like she didn't stop to about 10:45, right? Like she still had hits that she could have thrown on that motherfucker. Like just listen, I need to see the OJs. I don't know if I'm gonna get that in, but I got Patti in. I've seen Prince. I want to see Stevie. I wanted to see Aretha Franklin, but unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to see Aretha Franklin. But just these greats before, unfortunately, they leave this plane. I want to have an opportunity to see or whatever. So we finally got in Patti LaBelle and Beyonce. Oh me, oh my! First of all, I'm a black guy, so clearly I'm a quote unquote minority. I've never been such a minority in any situation as going into a Beyonce concert. It was women. What's
the demographics?
It's women. It's gay men. These dudes were so fantastic. Like just the hoochie shorts. I hit me when first of all, I look like an old player. I got on linen, right? I got on some linen. I'm like somebody uncling this bitch for real, right? I'm out here like granddaddy with some shades on and shit. I'm like, we going to the show, right? I got on some linen. This dude right here got on some bedazzled shorts about this short, a tube top damn near like what you got on, all right, and a cowboy, and because of the theme too. So because you said the cowboy hat, so people had on like cowboy stuff or whatever. But everyone was so cool. But the thing was, so it rained.
That place was sold out at Soldier Field, right?
But it rained, so people had to come in, and every time people would run back to the window to see if the show was going to start. So the show didn't start till like an hour after it was supposed to start, right? So it was supposed to start at 8. The show didn't start at 9 o'clock, right? Or close to 9 o'clock. Ryan, so of course we're talking about this scale-wise, you can't see. The back end zone of Soldier Field, the whole thing was her Jumbotron. It had to be probably, let's see, 30 feet tall. You know, like but this is
basically.
Yes. All right. So imagine that. Great point. Let's say the goalpost. It definitely is the goalpost because you could see the top seats behind on top of it. So like the goalpost or whatever, or a little taller than the goalpost. But from almost round, from end to end, right? Where they came out. So the middle was opened up, but it could close. That's where they came out from. So the whole back is a Jumbotron. The whole thing. So you imagine it was 2 Jumbotrons, because so it would have her on this side and her on this side, and they're filming her. And you, just like you talked about from being in school from this, they're filming her, and it's live what they're filming. See, it's different, and like to be able to switch from all those different screens and have everything manicured perfectly. They have you got the drone on top of them flying, and you're switching to the drone. It's supposed to be in this exact spot. And I'm like, the production was fucking crazy. It's Beyonce, so you know you're gonna get what you want. It was on a whole nother level. Dog, this damn thing, she had a horse come out the center. So I'm like, is that 3D? Like, I'm like, is that an image that they projecting? But I'm like, no, the dancers are dancing around the hoop. Right? And the horse was 20 feet, 25 feet tall with his hoof sticking out. I'm like, what? I'm like, they're lugging this around the country or the world, rather, right? Like, just this horse, I mean, it was huge. Right? They only brought it out for one part of the set. They got to like magic break like dog. I'm like, what in the world? And like I said, so the middle would fill in and it would just be one big screen, right? So even like when they would cut it up and you see like the birth, like she's going through the essence of, you know, the music, and she says Chicago's where house was made or founded or whatever, you know, the birthplace, I should say. Dude, it was crazy. The women, I think the women were scantily clad. If you're a heterosexual male like me, you don't hate that. Hey. But it was I mean, it was dude, it was nuts. It was, and so also the stage, she had it where it was a long walkway that went out into the audience, but it was also a circle around that. So the dancers and her would go around the circle and come and do. She, you know, Beyonce has that walk where it's like I could see. I'm Jay-Z. You should be happy because I know if after y'all get through loving one another, she walk away like that. Goodness gracious, man, you have yourself a bow. So she does that strut, and dog, she's coming down that walkway, and then the cameraman's filming it. So on them jumbo screens, it's like she's walking directly towards you, and she's so fierce with that shit and so hard. It's like, God damn, right? And it's just like this artist who is the greatest of her generation, right? She's in the rare air. She may not be Michael Jackson, but she ain't that far below him. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, talking about a kid artist who has been number one for 20 years. All right, some of the artists she came out with are in conservatism. I mean, it's Britney Spears, and people need to take care of it, is what I'm trying to say. All right, like you think about, I remember her in that Pepsi commercial with Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera, and like Pink, and like who's still relevant, and she's still Beyonce and bigger,
and not even just relevant, the queen. The queen.
Yeah. The only person who didn't have to bow is Rihanna. All right. Yeah. And that's because she went left. She was like, you know what? I'm gonna be the bad girl. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go this way, right? Everyone else just like she hit him with that chopper. Like, I mean, so you know she's going to be great, and it goes above that. It was wild. Like, it was. I told Kim, like, you got to check out Beyonce one day before she get too old. And, you know, it's just playing the hits. I was like, she probably be out another 3 years. We all got to go to that one. You know what I'm saying? Before it's just Vegas. You know what I'm saying?
I need to go too. I need to.
Yeah, bro. You don't. If I don't know if she's been that way or not, go see
I don't
Beyonce.
know if she's come already, but she was playing Allegiant for sure. I just don't know what the date was. It might be this month, actually. I have to look into that.
Yeah, if you can, I mean, because now I may be late to get your hands on those tickets now, because I know those resales is nuts. But you know, your boy may be able to get comped up in there, so who knows?
Hey,
but
let's try.
Right.
One more. Yeah, one more concert, unless you still want to finish with Beyonce.
No, I'm done. Go right ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, one last one. The Grateful Dead. I saw them at Wrigley.
With who's the lead singer? Who does? Wait, is they're with
John
Sisters
Mayer.
guy, John Mayer. They're with John Mayer.
Okay,
and you said he didn't do Sisters.
Really quick. Grateful Dead, I'm not a huge fan of the Grateful Dead in general. Not really my vibe, but it's obviously a huge popular group, whatever. The big highlights from that concert, all the weed smoking on Wrigley Field, in center field, and just like for me to see up in the stands from center field, this whole place packed, and just thinking like, this is what a center fielder at Wrigley is looking like. Like, that's what they see. Just packed everywhere. And then all of us on the reverse was like, damn. And then when you go on the road and all those seats are empty, That is a wild thought as well. Like, no wonder players kind of lose their shit playing at a place like Wrigley where it sells out all the time, because that was like a sight to see. Just this whole back behind home plate, everything completely full of people. All the press boxes, everything completely full. And then the other thing is, you mentioned him. If you haven't seen John Mayer, like, I'm not the biggest John Mayer, but if you love funky ass guitar, that dude was laying it fucking down. Like, holy crap, I was amazed. Basically, it was like a kind of a 3-set show. They took a break because a lot of these guys are really old, and like they even lost a couple band members already. But the main band member, I can't remember his name, he's still there, but you can even see the decline from like a year ago. It just like age is catching up with them. So they had to take a break. The first set was like really Grateful Dead-y. The second set was like all John Mayer, and that set was amazing. It was so good.
Did he do
John
Daughters?
Mayer, that's a fan. No, there was no John Mayer. It was John Mayer playing Grateful Dead. That's it.
Okay. All right.
Well, that's John Mayer. If you can just see John Mayer, highly recommend it for sure. But if you are at all intrigued by Grateful Dead, John Mayer is not going to let you down.
Okay. So anybody's out there that's a deadhead, shout out to Bill Walton. I wonder what Bill Walton thinks of John Mayer with the Grateful Dead.
If he doesn't like it, I'm going to question Bill Walton a little bit, and I don't question that man on much. But in general, this is like concert season all time. Like I was saying before the show, like I don't know if we'll be able to top this year with some of these like mega artists we both saw.
But you know why? And I'll say this: one, it's because of Beyonce. Because when Beyonce threw down the gauntlet that she was going to tour, everybody knows, oh, I got to get out here and get this money because she's about to come. That's why Janet was like, let me get out here before. Like, and you see Drake, because like, okay, let me get out here and get this bread or whatever. Yeah, I think she was the kicker. And of course, Bad Bunny's out there snatching stadiums, souls like you're going out of style too, or whatever, as far as the biggest art in the world. I was just about to say, and Taylor, and the biggest, as far here in America, the triumvirate as far as stadiums. Now, Beyonce, Bad Bunny, and Taylor Swift. Because if you think about it, I mean, Drake is playing indoors, doing Raphael Sadiq back with Toni in a couple of months, which I'm going to just love and zone. It's going to be such a beautiful experience, and it's going to take me back to grade school and high school and just being in love and having those songs be a part of when I was a puppy in my puppy love periods from their last album together. Second to last album together, I believe. It may have been the second to last album together. But anyway, we always appreciate you taking time. For Ryan and myself, we appreciate it. Please be safe. We'll be back with some Bears stuff this week. And listen, subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and please pass the word along about that David show. Ryan and myself will greatly appreciate it.